Awesome. Well, welcome everyone to TNG Online Connect. So whole purpose of this is to obviously widen your TNG network from not just your region, but to nationwide. And it is certainly nationwide. We've got Auckland, Waikato, we've got Wellington, we've got, where else? Was it Tauranga or East Coast? I mean, it's all across the North Island. So it's awesome to see you all here today. Obviously, running the meeting. So we've got Sharon who will be sharing today. So while Sharon is chatting, I just ask that you just mute yourself, and then we'll go into a question answer session afterwards. And then after that, do a quick wrap around the room, and you can introduce yourself. So I'm Dan. So run the TNG Online Connect, and it's again awesome to have you all here. So on to Sharon, who is our guest speaker for today. So Sharon owns SJK Accountants. So they are a proactive accountancy practice working with startups, rental property owners, small businesses, and investment trusts, and businesses of any nature, like needing accountancy systems in those early stages of life. So definitely specializing in helping those businesses who might not know a lot about what they need to know, because it's such an important space. And identifying the best structure for their businesses, business plans, pricing, cash flow. So that's definitely the special area of specialty. And today is going to be sharing some financial wisdom on how small businesses can actually survive and thrive this financial year. And obviously we all know what a heavy year this has been, and last year. So I'm really interested to see what information you share. So Sharon, please take it away.
Thank you. I'm just going to start off by sharing, hopefully getting my screen share correct. So just making sure we end up with the right thing on the screen. And did we? We should be by the look of it. And of course, this time it didn't share. What are you seeing, guys? I know what I need to do. Yeah. Is that better?
Perfect.
Perfect.
Excellent. Okay, so my topic today, and thank you so much everyone for dialing in. Hopefully you get a few gems. I find whenever I listen to a training course or a webinar or anything, there's often just one or two things that I take away. So hopefully you get something out of this. I've just got a few things that I would like to touch on. As has been indicated, it's a really challenging time for small businesses, and we're doing the best we can to adapt and to cope in that environment. And there's such a broad range in how businesses are coping, some of that driven by where they are in the country, and some of that driven by what their industry is. So the topics I've got for you today, I'm going to talk a little bit about cash lockup, about debtor collection, the cost of being in business. I'm going to touch on the cost of some of the costs around wages, a little bit of just a few observations around tax, budgets, yourself, and a few other thoughts. So my first topic is your cash lockup. Businesses start off, they're sick of working for someone else and they want to be self-employed. They think that it's going to be the panacea to all their problems. And then we get more and more established in what we're doing. But one of the things we don't always really sort of take into account properly in those stages is just how much money we have tied up in our businesses. We can't get our hands on it. It's locked up in what accountants call the working capital cycle. And that is, we're buying materials, we're buying stock, we're paying for subscriptions to professional products. If we've got office space, we've got rent. If we've got staff, we've got labour costs, whether they're busy or not. We've got professional indemnity insurance and key man insurance, and loads of money that flows out of our bank account, as we all know in lockdown, whether there's much coming in or not. And even in a non lockdown situation, those costs keep trucking. We get a sale, then we have to create and deliver the product for that sale. We hand it over or we install it, whatever is occurring. We issue our invoice and then we wait to get paid. This is what accountants call the working capital cycle. And the longer the steps between the sale, the delivery, the invoice, and the money coming in the door, the more money you, the owner, have locked up in your business. So an efficient business keeps that circle really tight, and that means they can actually use their money more. They either can be using it to grow, they can be using it to feed the owner, whatever they need. But as we look at our businesses, it's easy to get a little bit laissez-faire about what's going on. And I just want to remind you, because it's quite surprising sometimes when people exit a business, how much money pops out at the other end, and they're like, wow. So just a wee reminder there. Obviously the lead-in from that is talking about debtors. And I often find that my small business owners are really busy. They're either at the moment, as in the last year or two, in a lockdown situation, or they're crazy busy. And one of the things that can slip is getting that invoicing out the door. And we know historically that the best time to get paid, aside from before the job's done, is immediately. The client's got the feel-good factor of what you did, of what you did for them, what you fixed, what you provided, and they're more receptive to your invoice. If you take a while to hand that invoice over, they've got a little bit laid back. So get your invoices out quickly and chase them consistently. For those of you using Xero, if you're reconciling your file regularly, there's a feature in Xero that lets you put an automatic reminder on for unpaid invoices. So then the client is getting a reminder, this invoice was due for 7 days, and day 8 or day 9, the system is sending a reminder. You don't need to do anything. So it's a fabulous little feature to use if you're on top of your file. And what we find sometimes is, if you're not winning the battle, if you're not getting the money in, get someone else to chase it to get those results. And that's not necessarily, it might be paying an outside provider to help you, but it might be that if you normally chase debtors, your administration person steps in, makes that phone call, finds out if there's a problem, emails them the invoice, even though you can see you sent it 3 times, and that can get an outcome. What we found in our office is that sometimes I've been sending the invoices, or the admin's been sending the invoices, the reminders, but they're not seeing it. It's in their junk mail, or there's something wrong, it's not coming in. So get some, even if it's your partner, if it is an outsider, get someone to help you get that money in. And do consider, can you collect a deposit, and can you pay before your staff or you leave the site? And this is, often people say, oh no, the staff can't, that I don't want to have them raising invoices. Well, during my fabulous experience in lockdown, one of the things that occurred in our house was that the sewer line blocked up, which was somewhat dramatic when we were all in lockdown. So the plumber eventually turned up 24 hours later because they were flat out. It was not the owner, it was his young man working for him. He liaised with me really well, and obviously I was motivated to get this fixed. He talked to me about when they need to start using drilling equipment, etc. When he'd finished the job, he came to my door with an old-fashioned handwritten invoice and an FPOS machine. So this business owner had empowered his staff to raise the invoice and collect the money before they even left the site. So think about if there's a way that you can push that payment as early as possible. How much does it cost you? This is something to really think about as we face the challenges of COVID, of lockdowns, as we're all looking at how differently we can work. I find invariably when I've got clients that are struggling and I say to them, so how much does it cost you to open the door? And they kind of look at me blankly and I go, well, what do you think it costs a week to have your business here and functioning? This is irrelevant to what sales you make. And almost inevitably, they are underestimating the overhead cost of their business. So this is not a fun thing to do, and clients will often sort of glaze over. But as a business owner, you can do this yourself without involving your accountant if you want to, or you can involve them if you want a little bit more feedback, a bit more assistance. Get out that set of annual financial statements and go over all the non-direct costs, the rent, the subscriptions, the interest payments. Oh, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Allow 25% of your wages bill as unproductive. Look at what you're paying in loan payments and hire purchase, the cost of having motor vehicles in use in your business. And if you are not on the payroll or you only got yourself partial PAYE, the cost of you, because you own the business, you're entitled to make money out of it. That's your overhead costs, and you need to factor that into the invoices that you're issuing. And then separately, so you know this is how much I need to recover each year. Break it out to about 46 weeks of the year or 48 weeks, because these weeks you don't make any money realistically. Christmas, New Year, Easter is an interesting time. And then factor in the direct costs of every job that you do and work out what actually does it cost you to be in business, because it might cause you to think about your charge out rate or your job per unit or whatever methodology you're using. This can get people a little bit just tripped up really on what it's costing them to run their business. So it's often interesting when small businesses are going into employing staff, because it's a big and scary leap. And often once they've got them on board, they're kind of quite surprised by how much time they're paying for that they're not earning any money on. So I know that in lockdown, this is really kind of something that you're painfully aware of, but actually it goes on every single year. So in every year, a staff member is entitled to 20 days of annual leave, 10 days of sick leave, 12 days of statutory. And if you assume that they take 3 days a year for funerals and tangies, and some people will regularly, that is 45 out of 260 days a year. So that's about 2 months a year, just over 2 months a year, that you are paying your staff and they're not at work. No COVIDs, no lockdowns. It's simply part of the deal of having staff. So it's never enough as the business owner to finish the week and go, I had a great week, I earned heaps of money, I covered the staff, I covered the materials, and I'm feeling good this week. You always need to be aware with staff that there's a big bank of time you're paying for them, and it's more than you realise that actually they are not generating any income. If you're working with part-time staff, don't let them work on a Monday. There's a stack load of statutory holidays on Mondays, and it's a much bigger overhead if you're paying them to work on a Monday when they only work 2 or 3 days a week. So be mindful of that in your employment process. And a caveat to that, so I wasn't looking properly at my own slide. Additionally, too, this is just talking about the actual days they work. But of course, as employers, we're also paying KiwiSaver, we're also paying ACC levies. And If your staff have unproductive periods in their working days or in their working weeks, you're covering that as well in your recovery rates. I don't want to give you a tax lecture. I'm sure everyone's struggling with tax. Most people do. But I would like to start with this little picture. So here's a guy burning money. And why is he burning money? Because every time a client or a friend or yourself files a tax return late, Inland Revenue charges you $250 for the privilege of not being organised or of not wanting to face the bill. Just because you file the return, if there isn't enough money in the bank, that's a separate issue. But honestly, save yourself $250 a time and file the return and worry about the tax, how you're going to pay it afterwards. This is really significant when you're thinking now about payroll filing. We have to file payrolls within 48 hours of actually processing them. And if you've got your staff on automatic payments, it can be easy to just not quite get around it. You're a few days late. Inland Revenue is charging you $250 for the privilege of being a few days late. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but I've had clients in this situation. 3 months of, which is 75% of their weekly payrolls paid late, cost them $2,400. If that's not scary enough for you, we actually just finished a large job where over 3 companies, we filed something like 60 overdue GST returns. Do you imagine what that guy has paid for the privilege of not being on top of his affairs? His tax bills are mind-boggling. So even when it's gritty, even when it's tough, even when it's busy, file the return. And Inland Revenue have got systems in place. So now some do's. That's the don't. Don't file it late. Do communicate with Inland Revenue if COVID is affecting your business negatively. We are seeing this with our clients, and I know there's a bookkeeper and an accountant on this session. They will be seeing this as well. When you actually lodge secure mail and you advise Inland Revenue that your client or you personally is being negatively affected by COVID, Inland Revenue stops charging late payment penalties and use of money interest. If they're already in place, they're actually taking them out. So they're wanting you to let them know if there's an issue. So do reach out, do inform them, because they have a record too of every time you've been in communication with them. So each time there's a lockdown and you communicate that to them, they've got it on record that you have an issue. That's actually a really important thing to do for your business. And if you possibly can, do put payment plans in place with Inland Revenue. Tax debt, I have a very rough rule of thumb, which if we were to calculate it out, probably isn't quite this number. But basically, tax debt ignored doubles approximately every 4 years. So put a payment plan in place, because the late payment penalties and the use of money interest are reduced, provided you've got a payment plan in place and you're sticking to it. And Inland Revenue are accepting quite low payment plans at the moment because they know that it's a challenging time for business. And finally, so not doing myself any favors here, but push your accountant for early numbers on your business. Be the dripping tap, the nagging person that's going, I got my information to you early. It's 3 weeks later. When do you think we could have a meeting? Can we set up times? Because the longer the gap in time you have before income tax or provisional tax is due, the more chance you have to save for that tax. And conversely, if you have refunds due, they're going to pop out of the system. So be the person that the accountant needs to get out the way because you've been in their face. Accountants are getting a lot of clients pushing for their work. There's loads of pressure at the moment. So you need to make your voice heard. If you don't make your voice heard, you will sit in a queue and it won't happen so much. This is a tricky area and I haven't gone into a lot of detail. There's a couple of ways that you can deal with budgets. You can work with your accountant. You can have a payment plan in place with them that includes them helping you create budgets, or you can pay them for one-off budgets. For some clients at the moment, that's just not realistic. It's not part of what they can afford. So get those old financial statements out from earlier on. Build up a spreadsheet, put in what it's actually costing you in your overhead costs, work out how much you want to earn and go, well, historically, my purchases, my direct costs are costing me 50% of that, 30% of that. Put it into the spreadsheet and see if the number at the bottom is a profit or a loss. If it's a loss, you need to actually work out how you're going to save some money, or where you can change up what you're doing, or where you can increase your turnover. Because sometimes actually the increase can seem like quite a large number when you're, sorry, I'm trying to get to that bit there. So you decide you need an extra 48,000 in your business profit, and you're selling air conditioning units, and each one you install is around about $4,000 and it's $2,000 worth of costs. Well, actually, 24 extra units installed over a period of 46 weeks would bring in your extra money. So turn that gap that you've got into how much extra do I need to sell? What services am I paying for that I'm not using? You might have signed up for a great software scheme or something or other. You might have an extra subscription which you're looking at. If you're looking at an extra products that you want to buy, sometimes there's somewhere else you can save some money. So just stopping and thinking about how much money you need to earn, and then every now and then going back and check, so how am I going? In terms of, because this is the next thing about budgets, they're not much good if you actually create them and then you don't go back and check on them. So you can load them up into Xero and you can report about them. If you're not wanting to do that, honestly, the only thing you may do is create a spreadsheet, and once a month you go in and drop how much sales you made last month compared to what your budget was. You'll start to see the pattern. There's ways of doing this intensively, and there's ways of doing this at a slightly lesser pace. Find the pace that works for you. How many staff you have on board, how much money you need to turn over may determine how focused you are on this. There's the check-in. Make sure you check that. So my next slide, I just want to talk on something that's not specifically accounting, and that is to guard your own headspace. You are the leader of your pack. You are leading your business. So you do need to be mindful as when you're dealing with your staff and when you're dealing with your customers, how you're communicating to them. Because in a time when they're feeling stressed and they're feeling uncertain, they understand that you might be losing money. They want to know that you have a sense that you'll come through this at the end and they'll have a job and it's going to go well. And your customers will work with you if they believe you are going to deliver the service and you're on top of what's going on. And where we start that process is just as business owners, making sure we don't go down a black hole of COVID doom and gloom. So just look after yourself. And when we're not in a COVID zone, sometimes this can mean that you do a bit of a check-in on yourself and you go, you know what? We're going to go away for the weekend. We're just going to step out of it. It's all going to be there when I come back. I'm just going to recharge my batteries. And my final slide when I get to it is, we've got 5 months till the end of this financial year. So you're wanting to do it, in my mind, Christmas is always a great time to take a moment and take a few weeks where you don't even think about the business. Everyone needs to step away. And then set aside a day or two before you start, or before your advertised start date or whatever, where you can actually look at your numbers. You can think about how have we done so far. Unfortunately, you do need to know what your numbers are. So look at your profit and loss in Xero and see where it's at. And there'll be good stories in it, there'll be bad stories in it, and there'll be some stuff you knew didn't go well during the year. So take a bit of time to step away and think about what's happened in my business so far, what went well, what didn't, and then think about what can I change in this 2.5 months that I've got left of this financial year to try and pull it together to make some money. Or if actually you've been going gangbusters because of whatever it is you do, how do you make sure you keep everyone motivated and you keep it all together? Once again, with the budget, break it down into things that are manageable. There's no good having a list of 20 things on the board going, I'm going to do all of these. Pull them into activities that are manageable and split them over weeks, so that when you get to March, you go, wow, well, I didn't manage that one, and that one, but I pulled those other several off. And I think another thing to start planting in the back of your mind is, what do I want the next financial year to look like? And when we plant those seeds and then we come back to them in, it's really great English, in February or March, and we stop it, we've now got to the end of this year and we know we've got our new year is on our doorstep. You've already been mulling away over how you can improve your business. So just take a little bit of time to almost kind of crystal ball gaze about what that new year might look like and what you might be able to do to help that happen. These things are actually, when we lock them in a bit more, called a business plan. But actually, if the thought of doing a business plan turns you off completely and you don't want to go to that extent, just make it a little easier, but on yourself, but do it anyway, because when we think it, when we write it down, when we put it on a pretty note or a flash note and stick it on the wall, it's actually more likely to happen. So that's me, guys. That's what I've got to say for you today. If you want to ask any questions, by all means do.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sharon. What we'll do is we'll just stop your sharing and then we can see everyone. So if you have a question, please raise your hand or mention it in the chat. And we can, everyone's just blown away.
Well, there might be a sleep, but never mind, we might go there.
Great presentation, Sharon. Thank you so much. And just a reminder that the regional business partners have 2 funds available to help business owners create and implement a plan. So if you're wanting to engage Sharon to help you build your business plan, regional business partners have a $3,000 grant that they'll give you to create your plan, and also a $4,000 grant to help you implement the plan. So no excuses, folks. Get out there and make sure that you've got some idea about what your business is going to look like in 6 months, 12 months time. Thanks, Sharon. That was awesome.
Actually, I'd like to pick up on that too, Garth. Those regional business plans, access to that funding is amazing for small businesses, and do take that opportunity, because you can, there's a variety of different ways that you can use it in your business, and it's just perfect, because we often, as small business owners, struggle with the cost of bringing on a consultant or someone in a specialist area, and the government is giving you that opportunity to do that on their tab. So yeah, absolutely investigate
that. Thanks, Sharon. That was a fabulous presentation, and you know, things you don't remember, you know, you've reinforced some of those things quite clearly to remind yourself to look at them, which is really important as well. Where would one find those grants, the availability of them for the business plan and management of that?
It's really new, and it's about to be finalised on the 17th of November. But
Okay.
it's being managed in the Auckland area by Auckland Limited, which used to be AT. So just keep an eye out over the next week to 10 days when it gets finalised. It's been announced by the government, but the detail has not been released as yet. It will be managed by Auckland Limited or whoever administers the regional partner program in your area. So it is a nationwide area. I believe it's nationwide. The other thing is that they're really concerned about people's mental state and health and welfare, and there is another fund available if anybody's struggling with with depression or anxiety through the time that's being, there's another fund available for that. But yeah, it's early days, about to be finalised on the 17th of November.
Thanks, great, Garth, great, thank you.
Hello, Sharon. Sorry, Dan, I've just sent you a note. I don't know whether you read it at all, but would it be appropriate just to make a comment from a specialist debt collection perspective, in addition to Sharon's comments, because I think she's right on the money.
Sure.
Hey, look, Sharon, thank you for a great presentation. There's just some great, some great advice, if you like, in there. Around that, would encourage all business owners to follow everything that Sharon has said. Sharon, I own a debt collection business, which I've been involved with for a couple of years, and if it's okay, I just wanted to reinforce a couple of comments you've made.
Yes, certainly.
The first one is just around this acting quickly, and you mentioned the Xero facility to to send out reminders to customers on invoice. I can't reiterate enough the importance, if your terms of credit are broken, even by a day, your payment terms are broken, sorry, even by a day, did you act on it really quickly? Our advice to customers, if you go beyond 7 days and you haven't had a formal written communication arrangement to pay or some explanation that you're happy with, then escalate it to somebody like us right away. We're seeing, I guess you would be seeing it, Karen, a rapid deterioration in liquidity, in the fact that people are really struggling to get cash into their business and pay. And many of those are genuine, but if you don't set up that communication process straight away, is fine. The third point I would make is that if your terms and conditions are clear and they're communicated and form a part of the contract for product or service, whatever it is, then the fees associated with working with somebody like us are all passed on to the debtor and are enforceable at law in terms of that. So I would just like to make that point, that in most cases it shouldn't cost you anything, to actually pass it on to a specialist recovery agency. My last point is that most business owners find it really difficult to do this. They think that the customer, won't come back because they're enforcing payment, etc., etc. My comment as a business owner over many years, and with my work in advisory as well, is that they're not a customer. A customer definition is only met when they pay you for the services or products that you've given to them. And so the comment is, and I'm sure you reinforce this, Sharon, is there is no point in dealing with people who won't pay you. And so engaging somebody like us makes it easier just for somebody else to have that difficult conversation. So I just want to make those points because I think you've made some excellent points there.
Yeah, great add on. And look, I do agree with what Malcolm's saying there. And I mean, I'm sure you all have different expressions you use, but I sometimes say to my clients, you're not running a charity. It's actually a business. So Malcolm's right. You do want to chase, if you can have arrangements in place to chase your debtors quickly and make them aware that you actually are not running a charity, that's great. And, you know, many years ago, my father, who bless him was a painter decorator, informed a home handyman that was really struggling on a site, you're going to go broke fishing. So don't go broke working for someone else. Done the job, get the money in.
Fantastic comments. Totally agree with you.
Well, thanks, Malcolm.
Sharon, just to compliment you on that presentation. Simple, sweet, to the point, succinct. I am a chartered accountant, but you put it across in a way that most people can understand. I just want to emphasize one point that most small business owners forget. You are in business to make money for yourself. And if you don't build into your budget sufficient money to pay yourself, you're working in a job where you are more badly paid than you wouldn't if you would have been working for a boss. And so important that you make sure that that number is fixed when you set your budget, and other figures are the things that you've got to play around with. Otherwise, you'll find yourself sitting there and you've been in business and you don't get any money. And then that becomes a pointless exercise. Thank you, Sharon, for that. Thank you.
Awesome. Cool. Well, what we'll do is, well, thank you so much, Sharon. If you do have any questions, please feel free to get in contact with Sharon, and either Melanie can pass on the details, or Sharon's got her number on the screen as well. What we'll do is we'll just do a quick wrap around the room, and we'll just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what you do, and then we will get on into our Friday. So what I'll do is I'll just start with the closest to my screen. So let's start with you, Dieter.
First, excellent. Good morning. My name is Dieter. I'm the founder and advisor of Savvy Wealth. And thank you, Sharon. There's very particular to what I've just done. I've decided to start a business in September of this year. So yeah, working out my costs and managing that is very important. But what I do is actually retirement planning, wealth generation, and KiwiSaver advice for clients. And what is very key of what you're talking about is all of that fits into a personal purpose. So your business purpose has to feed your personal purpose. So it's knowing what that is, and ultimately what is the point at which you exit the business, because you exit a business with 3 Ds, death, departure, or disability. So yeah, having clarity of that and why you're doing what you're doing, and ultimately hitting a retirement income you enjoy and deserve. So thank you for that, and very nice to meet everyone this morning.
Thank you. Claire.
Ooh, hi everyone. Thank you, Sharon, for an awesome presentation. That was brilliant. And I love the comments about go broke fishing, not working for somebody else. Love that one. Hi, I'm Claire Baker from Agentech, your friendly digital lead generator. So you want to find consumers, we can find them for you. With the power invested in me and the World Wide Web, we find consumers that fit your business requirements. So if you need to find consumers, come talk to me. That's Claire Baker, your friendly digital lead generator from Agentech.
Cool. Natalie.
Whoa, that came around faster than I thought. Morning, everybody. My name is Natalie, Relationship Manager for Junk to Go Rubbish Removal Services. So my day consists basically of talking massive amounts of rubbish. So we operate Auckland-wide, where we will come to your rental properties, construction sites, businesses, your residential homes, anywhere really, provide you with a free, no obligation quote. What we take is, we say we take anything where 2 men can safely lift and load. Just some examples could be a bit of garden waste, renovation waste, appliances, e-waste. What we do with the items is we don't only take, we give back. So any of our pre-loved items that are still in really good condition, we have various relationships with the charity organizations throughout Auckland. So we give back as much as we can. In terms of charging, we charge per volume. So just to give you a rough idea, so 1 cubic meter, which probably means nothing, is equivalent to 4 standard wheelie bins. you're looking at approximately $99 versus a 9 cubic meter, which is about 36 standard wheelie bins. So it just puts it into perspective how the charging works. So if you know anyone that would like to make their life less rubbish, particularly in this stage of lockdown, I'd love to have a communication. I'd love to have a chat. Hopefully it will be in person soon. Otherwise, happy to do it online. Thanks, guys. Natalie, Junk to Go.
Awesome. Thanks, Natalie. Andy.
Hi, I'm Sandy from Better Bookkeepers, Accounts Made Easy. How can you do that? Well, you take the hassle out of your numbers as your business is important. I was hit by COVID quite severely last year. I was an old-fashioned bookkeeper, did not have any social media, had 8 clients. Within the first month of last year, up to May, I had 1 left, 7 fell over. So yes, fortunately, I have my savings and I'm slowly building up my business again now. This time I thought it was going to be great. 4 of my new clients have fallen over already this time around. So, hey, I'm rebranding. So I target the small to medium-sized business. So if you know of anyone who is looking for a bookkeeper, please feel free to get them to contact me. Sandy from Better Bookkeepers. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandy. Jerry.
Did you say me?
Yep, go ahead.
So, hi everyone, Jerry Flay. I live in Hawke's Bay. I work for a company called Haven, which is Auckland based. I run the Hawke's Bay side of things. We are financial advisors, which means that we work with people on a whole range of different financial areas, but I specialize in risk. So sitting down with people and looking at the risks that they face personally and from a business perspective and how they can mitigate those. And that's people from all walks of life, all ranges from very humble beginnings to very rich people. So I spend most of my day driving around. I've just been down in Palmerston for 2 days, so I'm a bit knackered. So forgive me if I'm not on full form today. Yeah, there you go.
Awesome. Thanks, Jerry. Colin.
Hi, everybody. I'm Colin Gardner, CCG Consulting, based here in Auckland. When I'm not in hospital, I am an exit strategist, and I basically help business owners get their businesses ready to either exit their business or to sell their business. And I am a retired chartered accountant with more than 40 years of experience. I was a KPMG partner for some 29 years until I retired in 2009. So there's very little that I haven't seen or done in my life, and always happy to sit down with people who are considering retiring or otherwise exiting their businesses. So you know anybody who's at that stage of life has got to the grey hair and the baby boomer syndrome of where it's time to get out of business, to make sure they don't leave money on the table and get maximum value when the big payday comes around. So thank you for the time, and good to get to meet all you people. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I was the one that was muted there. Diane, go ahead.
Oh, that was a bit odd. I'm Diane from AppWorks, and we are very excited to be able to present a couple of products to the community, especially our latest one, which is a traveling UCast kit. Anyone in their camper vans or going to your batch, we have a fantastic new product, which I will show you now. Open it, and you take it with you, cast your content onto your TV, If you're watching a Netflix series or you want to watch your Sky Go or anything like that, you can cast directly with this to a TV, which is as long as you've got Wi-Fi enabled in that vicinity. And wishing everyone all the best at this really difficult time. Thank you. It's Diane from AppWorks.
Awesome. Thanks, Diane. Really cool. Barbara.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having along this morning. It's really neat to listen to you all. My name is Barbara Lee Dixon, and Jerry, I'm similar to you. I'm a financial advisor here in Christchurch. I got some really exciting news today. I got my full license from the FMA. So very happy about that. Just wanted to, we've had quite a few inquiries coming into the practice about what happens with COVID. You know, am I still covered if I'm not vaccinated? Those kinds of questions, which are interesting. At the moment, you know, you have full cover. There's no exclusions for COVID. And there may be some questions coming up, particularly around medical cover, maybe with vaccinations or not, because the insurance companies have to sort of assess their risk and minimise that as much as they can. But so far, everything's standard, and you've all got full cover, and it doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or not. And so I'd just like a big shout out to everybody up in Auckland and the North Island that are affected with COVID. We really feel for you guys up here, down here rather. You know, it's horrible to be in your situation, and just, just try and keep positive, and hopefully it'll be over soon. Thank you.
Barbara. Candy.
Hi, my name is Candy Sue. I'm from Candy Sue Fitness. Behind that's my brand, and this is my studio in Warkworth, and I own another studio in Albany. I'm a personal trainer and a transformation coach. I've been in this fitness industry for almost 35 years, and currently I am a registered exercise professional in New Zealand. So I'm specialized on weight loss. If you wanted to downsize your body to this size, I'm very good at that. And then tone and shape, you want to tone your body, shape your body, I'm special on that too. If you have any injuries or want to work on your mobility and your lower back problems, strengthen up your back. So I'm very good at that because I'm dealing with lots of clients from 60 up to 80 who have a lots of illness and problem with the body and want to have a movement, maintain the movement. I also do muscle building as well. If you think that you lose so much weight and you do lots of bicycle or running outdoor, and that's all your cardio workout, but you're not focused on your muscles. So that is where the muscle need to be focused on. And I'm very good at that too. So I'm open up a free consultations, and feel free to come and talk to me for a session. How can I help you to achieve and maintain your health and your well-being? So, so this is Candy Sue. Looking after your well-being is personal. Thank you. Thank you, Susan, for your presentation.
Thanks, Candy. Helen.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Helen Mitchell. Kenneth is the name of the company. My focus is on value in the company. The value that is actually hidden. I mean, we tend to think of value that we're giving our customers or value that we think we're gaining. But in fact, looking at international businesses, they are now actually including in their annual accounts the value that they have in their business. And to find that, it takes a bit of time. If there's a process, and that's where I've set up a program to do that. And it's geared to suit very, very small companies and to take into play very large companies. So if anyone is interested in wanting to look more closely at the value that is hidden in their business and make use of it, then let me know. Helen Mitchell.
Thanks, Helen. Baptist.
Good morning, TNG. Fantastic presentation, Sharon. I loved it. You made it so simple, as Colin said, for everybody to understand the jargon, what chartered accountants or accountants speak, but you have made it very simple and made all the businesses understand how to operate. My name is Baptist and I represent Tax Advantage. We do everything what Sharon does, plus auditing and business valuation. And we look after our clients. We help businesses to prosper and grow by doing all that, and help businesses to understand how to run their business and make profits. So that's Baptist from Tax Advantage.
Awesome, thanks Baptist. Jai?
Yeah, hi there. Sorry, I was just typing. So just in case if anybody wants.
You just got muted there, Jai.
Yeah, again there. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, if anybody wants to buy or sell any of the properties in Auckland or up north, contact Jai Oberoi, one and only one, the smart fellow in Barfoot. It's Jai Oberoi. Jokes apart, the properties, as you know, everything is going up and up and up, nothing coming down. So this is the time right now to sell your property, not to buy, but probably it's a good time. You got a good money and a huge profit anywhere in Auckland. Just one case study I was just going through yesterday. There was an auction at North Shore in Glenfield. The property was on the market. Just an example I'm giving you. The opening bid was 1.6 million. Just keep on guessing how much it would have sold for. Any guesses?
Oh.
More than that.
2.3.
More than that.
2.8.
Double the amount of 1.6. It is 3.25 mil. Just imagine the market is going crazy, real crazy. And if anybody's keen, contact Jai Oberoi and I will get you. I will try to get as much as what they've got. I'm not assuring you, but yeah, I can try and get you the maximum out of it. Contact Jai Oberoi. My profile is.
Awesome. Thank you. Malcolm.
Good morning, everybody. Malcolm Jensen from Business Success Partners. I'm looking at the chat column there. There's 6 people have complimented Sharon on her presentation. And as I've already commented, she's right on the money. My role is to get people to do what they know they should do. Sharon, I know, and the other accountants who are on the call today will know that everybody agrees with what you say. The problem is getting people to actually do it. And that's where a firm like Business Success Partners comes in, partnering with the business owner to get done what they know they should do. So we make people accountable. I also just wanted to comment, one other person on the call today said that it's important to remember that your business is a vehicle to fulfill your personal aspirations. The second thing we do is get people to clearly identify why they're in business, to understand their why. That together with the accountability means that people actually do get real additional value from the engagement. Malcolm Jensen from Business Success Partners.
Thanks, Malcolm. Kaz.
Thanks, Dan. Couple of things. Sorry, hi, I'm Kaz from Paws Perfect Dog Training. I'm based in Albany on Auckland's North Shore. I'm a certified dog trainer offering group classes. Well, at some point when Auckland's allowed to play again, I'll be offering group classes, workshops and one-to-one private training sessions, general behaviour modification. We also deliver some classes, again, once we're allowed to play, up in Pets in the City Daycare Centre in Silverdale, and kind of welcome anybody with any age level, any experience level, because very inclusive. And we focus on providing modern, effective and fun training solutions. You'll probably notice from all the colour that I like to have a little bit of fun, and I think it's really important that if it's not fun, you're not going to do it. If the dog's not having fun, I can tell you now, they're not going to do it. And it's all about motivating owners to want to do more with their dog. And on that note, just wanted to say to Sharon, great presentation. Love what you do, love how you do it, and I love how you make, I wrote a note here about how you make accountancy, which, let's face it, I'm a dog trainer, I don't like the numbers, and you make it realistically achievable for the average person to be able to do accounting, which is similar to what I do. You inspire people to want to do their books. And so I just love the way you do your work. And Sharon, Barbara, thanks for the shout out. A lot of us are doing it quite tough up here, financially and emotionally, but appreciate that you are thinking of us elsewhere in the country, because we are standing strong and trying to do the right thing to keep everybody safe. And I just get to spend more time with my dog, so it's all good. So that's Kaz, Paws Perfect Dog Training, Learning Games for Life.
Thanks, Kaz. So my name's Dan, so I run Ingot, which is a digital design studio. So what we do is we work with businesses to better communicate what they do on their website, on their online space. So websites, yes, they're brochure sites, but they're also tools for, automating your pipeline, or for driving your customers to meet that goal that you're trying to achieve, whether that's subscribe or join up or get an appointment or whatever it is. So we work with businesses to look at how we can make their websites more functional, use it as a tool to bring them new customers, but then also communicate what they do beautifully. So how can your website be set apart from your competitors? So when they're doing their research, they land on your site and they're like, oh, this is a company that I want to align with, that I want to spend money with. So that's a space that we love to work in. So that's me, Dan, from Ingot Digital Design. Cool. We've got Garth next up.
Oh, thanks, Dan. I'm one of the owners, along with Melanie and Mark, of the networking group. So I'm National Groups Manager. One of my roles is to zoom around all the different groups we have and to help the individuals in the groups get even better results from their business networking. And I'm absolutely honoured to be involved with all of you business owners and our members of the TNG network. So thank you very much. Thank you, Sharon. Great presentation. Thank you, Dan, for organising Connect NZ Online. That's absolutely awesome. And thank you all for attending. Good to catch up with a few people who I haven't seen before, Dieter and Barbara Lee, Jerry. That's about. And thanks so much, Dan. Really good session, and look forward to catching up with our members over there over the next couple of weeks in the cycle and their Zoom meetings. Garth Partridge, I'm National Groups Manager, one of the owners of the networking group. Thanks again.
Cool. Melanie.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. It was a great session. Thank you, Sharon, for presenting. Really appreciate it. It's great how diverse all of our speakers have been. We really have enjoyed today. So thank you to our visitors as well. It's really lovely to have you along, new faces, and we look forward to hopefully working with you into the future. I've just got a bit of TNG news. We're really excited to be announcing a new online group. So our first online group is going to open on Thursday, the 3rd of February. It'll be at our usual time of 7 a.m. Obviously, we're thinking ahead. We're looking forward to looking after those members who, for whatever reason, are not able to go back to networking face-to-face, but still want to be connected and involved in a part of this great community that we've developed. So our new online group is launching. Once it's full of the key business categories, we will be launching a second group. We'll open as many as demand requires. And we do have an area group manager, T-Born McCaw, who will be known to most of you, has put up his hand to take on that role. So that's really exciting. That's the first one. The second one is we're also opening in February in Palmerston North. So we're absolutely delighted to spread our wings a little bit further. As you know, we're in the Waikato and the Bay of Plenty already, but and Wellington, sorry, Dieter. We're in Wellington, but so Palmerston North is really exciting, and we're really looking forward to that. So if you have colleagues, family, acquaintances, anybody that you know that's running a business in Palmerston North, and who would like to be part of a great community about people, and we're all here to help each other, please get them to ring me. My phone number's there. I'd love to have a chat to them and introduce them to Ron, who's the area group manager down there, who actually was here a couple of weeks ago, and so some of you got to know already. So thank you very much.
So, Sharon, any parting words before we close?
Not really. But hey, guys, thank you so much for your compliments. Really appreciate it. You know, do reach out and talk to your accountants at the moment, or your bookkeepers. Just a wee plug for bookkeepers. I actually think they can work really well with accountants. It can be a great team. Yeah, it's great efficiencies for business. But, you know, guys, it's lovely to hear you all sound so really positive in sometimes quite trying situations. So keep up the good work, guys. Don't lose heart. We will all survive.
Cool. Thanks, Sharon. So great. Yeah, Garth.
Yeah, Dan, sorry, just before we go and before you close the meeting, a tip that some people might not know, there's been quite a few contact details put into the chat. And if you go into chat and click on the 3 little buttons, you can save the chat to a text file so that when the meeting finishes, you've still got those contact details for everybody. Just something that some people don't know about Zoom.
Cool. Thanks, Garth. Yeah, so thanks for joining in today. Next fortnight, we will have Chris Chase, who is an entrepreneur, an action sports and adventure tourism photographer, and also teacher. So sharing a little bit of wisdom and you know, a little bit of inspiration while we can't be gallivanting around the world either. Once again, thank you, Sharon. Thanks for everyone for joining in. And just a reminder that these sessions are available on the YouTube TNG channel. So definitely go check them out and share the content. Otherwise, have a fantastic rest of your Friday and your weekend as well. Cheers,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys.
Bye, everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Everyone.
Bye. Have a great weekend.
Thanks all. See ya.